Not everybody. I just mean in general, like everyone is so self-promoting and convinced of their own artistic promise. And I'm like, hey, my uncle is an award-winning theater genius, and my aunt is a real-life playwright and author who gets invited to Yaddo and gets her stories published in well-known periodicals that normal people have actually ever heard of, like The New Yorker, for instance. And they're over 40 and still have to live in a rent-stabilized apartment on Avenue A with like drunks and graffiti in the front. So don't talk to me about the sacrifices you're making to be an artist, okay?
Oh, good.
The experience of this was so, profound to me as a human, and I myself, as a performer, have been at this for a minute and have rarely been asked to play a part that is this rich and complicated, and so I hold this so dear to my heart, this experience, and Rachel, and this kind of work lives in that place that rides that line right between comedy and drama, which as an audience member and as a performer is like my favorite place, and so hard to, just a very difficult place to find. But it's that catch in your throat place that is just my fave. So anyway, it's always a pleasure.
You're also wonderful in this. It's such natural acting, totally believable that you've been together and married for all this time. Yet you didn't really even have much rehearsal time. I heard you came over, Tamara had you over, and she made you wash dishes together.
Yeah, I've never met this jerk.
We did it in my apartment.
In your apartment.
My apartment.
Okay, and that was basically how you.
That was how they met.
That was the first time
I
we'd
hijacked
met.
Paul's apartment.
Yeah, it was the first time we'd met. We'd never met before, Catherine.
I had never met this jerk before this movie.
No, but we didn't have much rehearsal time, but she and I never even felt the need. We never even talked about anything. It was all inarticulate and unspoken. We just did this weird dance together, and I was just following her lead, and it was crazy. We didn't even need to talk about any of it. It was crazy.
And it was all on the page, too?
All on the page.
Not a lot of improv on this?
Oh, yeah, no, everything was on the page.
Yeah. What I loved about your character, too, which you don't see in movies like this or about this subject, is something from the male point of view and what he's going through. And it's very much an even proposition here.
Very evenly done. No, beautifully dramatized, the way the guy can feel so helpless and strangely alienated and involved and not involved and getting all the existential weight, but not all the horrible crap she's going through, and you can't do anything. And, so she got all the complications of it beautifully. It was crazy.
It was a midlife crisis, for sure.
I just want to ask you, you found Kaylee at the last minute. You really did have an actor drop out, and you said there's got to be somebody under a rock somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I said to my casting director, because we had met a whole bunch of wonderful actresses, but no one was really killing it or felt super right. And so I said to Jeannie McCarthy, who's a genius casting director, I said, isn't there some great young actress under a rock? This is New York. I'm sure there's like a basement theater somewhere, and we've never seen her before, but she's brilliant. And then a few days later, she said, an email, I think the subject was like, found girl under rock. And it was Kaylee Carter, but it wasn't really a rock because she was in a Mark Rylance play in London. It was so fancy. It was so not rock-like.
This script was so incredible, and the person who was originally slated to play this part dropped out very close to the wire, and so they were scrambling, which I really have to just thank God for that, because I might not have been the first name on anyone's list or on any list since people don't know my name. But it was like everything came together in a really beautiful way, and I'd never read a script that, for someone of my age, I think that a lot of movies, they put women before 18 or after 30, and everyone doesn't want to tackle that weird becoming a person in the world space in between because it's scary and hard to write. And she wrote it immaculately. It was beautiful.